How do you feel about lengthening the school day and/or the school year?
You constantly see comparisons with the United States and other countries, and how low our test scores are comparatively. And one of the main things that people look at is other countries have longer school days, they have longer school years. I can't say that I'm a real proponent of it, because I think kids actually have to have more extracurricular activities to have a more well-rounded, to become a more well-rounded person. But financially, if it could be extended slightly to determine if an extra school period, an extra couple weeks shows a lot of improvement, I would be open to the idea. But the difficulties that it would be to do that are primarily out of our hands. All of those numbers, again, are mandated by the state, and it would take extensive negotiations with teachers' unions to redevelop salaries and wage scales and everything to put everything in line for a longer day and a longer school year. I think it's definitely something that should be looked into. But again, there's going to be, it's something that at a board level there's very little that can be done.
Thank you. Ms. Daniel?
Again, at this point in time, I don't think there's anything that could be done in terms of lengthening the school day, lengthening the school year, unless there was some type of negotiation of the contract that you have with the teacher that's in place now. I think it's important to recognize that it's really quality over quantity. And if we're having high-quality programs and our children are being exposed to a challenging curriculum, we don't necessarily need to lengthen that school day or lengthen that school year. I think that at this point in time, that our school district is doing a very good job in providing a wide variety of challenging curriculum to our students, and we don't need to lengthen the school day. The obvious concern is up at the high school now with the changes that have happened with the reduction from the 8-period day to the 7-period day. Those are things that, unless there were some type of change and some type of concession that were to go through either from the teachers or some type of change, with respect to the budget, we now are in the position where we do have a 7-period day, which is now going to limit some of the electives that are going to be available to the students up at the high school. So that is of concern.
Thank you.
Well, the length of a school year, while the state puts a minimum on it, we could negotiate with our teachers and lengthen our school year. We could lengthen our school day if we negotiated in the teacher's contract. So both of those things are things that you can do. It really comes down to a matter of dollars. Because every study out there says more contact with kids is better for them. More time with kids is better. The longer school day, there are states that are doing it, and their kids perform very well. But it's not probably feasible for a really long time in Western New York. It's not something that we can just financially afford to do. You can't just lengthen the year and say, okay, we're not going to pay for it somehow. We have to pay for the use of the building. We have to pay for our teachers. We have to pay for our staff. We're in a tough budget circumstances now. So, but every study you look at will tell you that more contact with kids is better for them. So I certainly am not an educator enough to say that it's not, but it would be something we definitely do.
Thank you. Mr. Goldberg?
Yeah, a few observations. I think at the outset, the context of the question, I have to get a better appreciation of what the questioner was looking to accomplish on the question of extending the school day, the school year. I agree there have been studies out there that suggest Japan and other places where the kids are literally in school almost the entire year are compared to the U.S. But the interesting thing is that we learned that while Japan and some of these other countries may lead in some of the test scores and some of the sciences, the innovation still comes from the US. So it's sort of interesting that somewhere along the line, we seem to catch up. And one of the things I would point out is that we in this community are going through right now some debate about what the high school program looks like. But I'm not ready to concede yet that we automatically have to go to 7 periods versus 8. I think that the jury's still out on that. I think there's still evaluation that's taking place, looking at options, adjusting schedules and other ways to perhaps achieve this intent. The most important thing I would mention is we have to look at the community. In this community, overwhelmingly high percentage of the children that are in school during the quote-unquote school day are then involved in extracurricular activities after school. I mean, the numbers I've seen are incredible. We're one of the highest in terms of level of participation, percentage-wise, of any school district. And so those kids are not just putting in their school day, but then they are out there engaged in outdoor curricular activities, maybe music, it may be band, it may be various arts, or all the various different sports programs that we provide a tremendous opportunity for. So, in my view, right now, these kids are kept pretty active. And so, as I said at the beginning of this, before I would be a proponent of the expansion of the school day, I'd have to see what we were trying to accomplish and be convinced that that was called for. Because right now, these kids put in a very full day, both in the classroom and then outside the classroom. And I think it's what contributes to the overall quality of the program that we provide.
Thank you.